Just wanted to take a moment to thank you for listening to SiDEBAR Forever. If you like the show, please subscribe to us at sidebarforever.com, as well as share episodes of the podcast on your social media. That way, new listeners can find us as well. There are things within culture at large that, over time, have become incredibly popular. Things considered undeniable, unassailable, universally co-signed. So everyone must love them, right? Wrong. Today's podcast is a confession of unpopular opinions. Dwight, Swain, and myself spend an hour plus throwing out examples of everything under the sun that, despite their popularity, we don't agree with. For instance, Leonardo DiCaprio is not a great actor. The 1989 Michael Keaton Batman is the best feature film Batman. The minute you take art and sell it, you've sold out. Kendrick Lamar is just an okay rapper. By the way, if you can't battle rap, then you can't rap. KFC fell off big time. What happened? Chitlins should be banned. J-Lo didn't get hot until after she turned 40. Adam Sandler's movies are not funny. No, really, he's not funny. Casting minorities just to check the diversity box is a bad idea. And every live action adaptation of an animated feature has been trash, garbage. I'm Agent Johnson. Dwight and Swain are with me on this one as we offend listeners by the minute on an episode appropriately titled Unpopular Opinions.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get it crunk, man. Leonardo DiCaprio is not a great actor. Let's stop it. Yeah.
You already, you started early, dog. All right, now.
Man. Controversial, man. Controversial. It's a hot take.
No.
This is a hot take.
Very hot. All right, okay. All right, so let me ask you this, man.
Yeah.
In your opinion, despite the opinion that you have now, do you like any of DiCaprio's roles? Like, is there one where you're like, that was okay?
No. Don't get me wrong.
All right.
He's been in good movies. He's been in movies that I like.
Yeah.
And he's given performances that I like. One or two. But for him to be triple A list like he is, and he's just a movie star. He is the same guy in every movie, but people perceive him as if he's not. And I'm like, no. I mean, Tom Cruise accepts the fact that he is bringing Tom Cruise energy to every role he does.
Right.
The few times he's tried to not bring Tom Cruise energy, it has I won't say it hasn't absolutely not worked, but it has generally not worked.
Right.
He has to sell Tom Cruise energy to sell his acting because he's not transformative. George Clooney is not transformative.
By any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's just he's just not. Yeah. He's charismatic and he's a movie star. Harrison Ford at times maybe a little bit, but not really.
Right. No.
Not really. Denzel, I love me some Denzel. I love me some D.
Right.
I love me some D.
But
he is mostly that same dude. He's bringing Denzel energy to every role.
Right.
He's bringing Denzel. He's not like Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada, where she kind of disappears into this character. You're not even thinking about, Kramer versus Kramer or the River movie that she did with Kevin Bacon.
The River Wild, yeah.
Yeah, you're not thinking about any of those things. You're not thinking about Mamma Mia. You're not thinking about, any of the stuff that she's done. The Bridges of Madison County. None of that stuff. Robert De Niro, same thing. He can kind of disappear into a role. When he started doing that,
all right, gotcha.
Okay.
when he started doing that comedy stuff later on, I was like, damn, Robert De Niro. I don't even remember Goodfellas. He is so funny in Meet the Parents,
right?
And Analyze This. But your boy DiCaprio, he's the same dude in everything.
Yeah.
And to me,
all right,
he was the worst casting choice in Django. He was the only one that I didn't believe. I didn't believe him, and the second runner-up would be I kind of didn't believe Kerry Washington.
Okay.
Even though they didn't give her much to do. But for the little bit they gave her to do, I just didn't believe her. They should have just hired a better actress, somebody who was going to really sell that. Go ahead, man.
No, I agree with you. On the Django tip, I didn't believe Sam Jackson, man. Sam to me was just being Sam. He's just being.
But he was so funny though. He was so good, so funny though.
He was good. But he was just like, okay, this is Sam's personality. Go to bed, motherfucker. I don't care what you do. It's time for you to take your ass to bed.
Django, I count 6 shots, nigga.
Right.
I got 2 guns, nigga. That's me on the actor tip. I could go into others, and I actually did name George Clooney and a few others in there. But Leonardo DiCaprio has always been a big mystery. I'm like, how is this guy AAA, just top of the list? And I'm like, okay. I mean, it's been a long time since Basketball Diaries, dog. A long time.
Basketball Diaries.
It's been a long.
Damn. Oh, okay. I got one for you. Have you ever seen This Boy's Life with him playing opposite of Robert De Niro? That's an intense ass movie, and he was real young when he did that. I was like, damn. Like when he was. It seemed like to me when DiCaprio was younger, his acting was much more intense. Like he had something to prove. Mm-hmm. But after Titanic, it's like,
yeah,
I got this.
Coasting, baby, coasting.
Yeah.
I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, quite literally. Man, but he was he in Eating Gilbert Grape? With
yeah.
Okay. Now, he was a young boy then. He was a young boy then, and he kept believing him in that character because he hadn't reached that status yet. And that's the thing. You reach a certain status, man. It's like you do one or two things with that status. You either go up further, or you just cruise, or 3 things: up, cruise, or crash. Are your 3 options.
Well, and perhaps that's the thing. When he was a younger actor, he was not a movie star. He was not a presence. He was not a name. He was, he had something to prove. He had what Rocky 3 calls the eye of the tiger.
Oh, nice.
He wanted it. And then, and once he got to the point where he was getting all these accolades and all this acknowledgement, he, like Mick said, he got civilized.
Mm-hmm.
And he lost that in. So I just think, because like you said, I saw Grape, I saw Basketball Diaries. I'm like, oh yeah, I fuck with this. But all the stuff after that, man, I mean, I'm like, and my favorite performance by him, oddly enough, is in Catch Me If You Can.
Oh yeah, he was good in that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my.
What was that?
Catch Me If You Can. It was a movie he did with Tom Hanks.
Frank Abagnale. Yeah, that's
Frank Abagnale. Yeah. He was directed by Steven Spielberg. So
okay. Yeah, I never saw him as being the Great Gatsby. That makes no sense to me at all, dude. What the hell? And he's dancing and shit. Like what? What?
Yeah.
You do what? No, bro. That's not you, man.
Anyway.
Well, what you got, D?
Well, I'm not going with any actors or anything like that. But I do have a brief gripe about certain things. Unpopular opinion is, do multi-million-dollar rappers really think they aren't sellouts to some degree? Because success does make you more the man than your opposite side. You know what I'm saying? So like all these rappers, they're like, no sellout, no. I'm in the streets and all that. What do? They leave the streets because the streets is chasing their ass because they can no longer live there because you've achieved the status that doesn't make you part of the hood anymore, man. So like 2 Chainz, bro. I don't know about the brother, but what got me was that damn commercial. I hate that damn commercial. He says, I got a helicopter. Really, bro? You rented a helicopter and now you got a helicopter? What?
But it's funny you should say that, D, because really the idea of a sellout is something that was more celebrated in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Right.
And now, like nobody in hip-hop cares about selling out. It's like, no. Business opportunities. Back then. And that's the keeping it real part that was in conflict with the commercial. And it's like, okay. But, my thing, look, I agree with you, though, because it is an unpopular opinion. It's like, okay, maybe even in a bigger way, The minute you try to sell art, it becomes a product.
Right. That's my point.
Yeah, of course.
Period.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because everything is a price. Everything is a price, basically. And if you want to be successful, success in its nature means that you have sold something until hopefully you do sell out to the point where you have to go back to the drawing board again, make another new product so you can make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Success is not selling out of itself. I think it's the selling out of ideals of the issue. So the question is like, did Russell Simmons sell out? Did Chuck D sell out? Did Run DMC sell out? Did there are various artists you can cite that say, okay, well, what are they doing now that makes them not welcome back in their community, if at all, or what makes their success so much? Like, I have to say this to a certain degree, man. Never thought I'd say this, man. And IC probably come to my house, man. But when I saw IC doing a car commercial for some bullshit ass insurance.
I saw that, yo. I saw
that. Might be the sellout, bro. I'm sorry.
Well, but you don't think he sold out when he got on the police procedural TV show?
No, I think that's well, compared to how anti he was to the police, yeah, I do.
Exactly.
Cop killer and all those other things he did, man. It's like, yeah, he kind of made his bed and lied in it, man. It's like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing. You bring up that Ice-T example, man. There was a podcast that me and Swizz really enjoyed. I think you've listened to it a couple of times too, D, called The Cypher with Sean Sotero. Yeah, that was on a few years ago, and Ice-T was on there. And then one of the things that stuck out to me why I had to roll my eyes, even though it was a podcast, Sean was talking to him about something, and Ice-T was just saying, yeah, from my house out here, basically in the hills, I can see Washington Heights. I guess that's a hood, lower, like lower the hood. Yeah, it was the hood. I can see that from here, And so Sean was like, well, based on kind of how you were, what would you still be angry about? You're on a successful TV show. You have a reality show. Just saying, like, he's very successful. And Ice-T had the gall to say, yeah, but I'm still angry. About what? What are you angry about? It's the same thing with Ice Cube. And that's the other thing, and I'll leave it alone after I make this point. When Ice Cube was a young man, he had that piss and vinegar. He was talking about some shit. Like them first 2 albums.
Yeah.
Straight. And then once he got into the movies, started getting money, he started talking about, I make raps like, wait, yay, Dub C, Mac 10, all that, the West Side Connection. That's where it was like,
right.
And now he's still talking about, yeah, but I'm still angry. You making protest music, but the way you live is contraposed though to what you're talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It goes back to that, and I hate bringing it up, but I always repeat it, yo. It's that saying, it's like, if you're a young man and you don't fight, you're a coward. But if you're an old man and you continue to fight, you're a fool.
Yeah.
Like, what you got to be fighting about? There's nothing coming against you at this point that your millions of dollars don't at least keep it at arm's length. Mm-hmm. The wolf ain't at your door. The wolf might be 3 blocks away, but the wolf is not at your door. I'm sorry.
No, it's true. It's true.
Oh, man.
What you got, A?
All right, man. I'm going to take you to the nerd spectrum for a little bit, all right? And okay, now this may be an unpopular opinion just because, I think over the past 2 decades since this, there have been other iterations that have become people's favorites. But an unpopular opinion to me might be Michael Keaton and that 89 Batman movie. That is the best Batman movie ever. Period. Look at that silence. Look at y'all.
Enjoy the silence.
Look, Sway looking stern as hell, like a schoolmaster. No.
So let's unpack this now. So there are 3 Batman movies. The third one is in production. So we're really talking about Keaton's Batman.
Yes.
Versus Bale's Batman. Or are we talking about Keaton over Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, all them shits, yo?
I'm talking about Keaton holding the belt like Stone Cold Steve Austin over all them bugs. Keaton up there like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton got the belt. I shocked
Right?
Just, yeah, man. Just to me, it's like, man, that movie, you know, just really hit the perfect note as far as like the Batman in the comics, that whole Gotham City. So it's gothic. You know, like it hit the perfect note of just being cartoony enough, but it had that darkness to it. That's how Batman should be done. And I think people have been weaned on for like the past decade now on Bale's realistic,
yes,
crunchy,
I'm gonna rattle the cages
sounding Batman. Exactly. And it's just like, how many times have you rewatched those Christian Bale Batman movies? Be honest. You saw it in the theater. You might have bought the DVD or Blu-ray. And how many times have you watched it after that?
I'll be honest with you. I was a fan of those movies, and I thought that those movies were great at the time, and they were better than the '89 Batman movie.
Yeah.
But the more I did see them, because I did watch them more than once, the more I did see them, the less I liked them, because they were so gritty and so dour and so real world. And I think the thing about the Batman of '89 with Michael Keaton and with Tim Burton, and which was actually my wife and I's first movie date, was seeing that in 1989.
Nice.
Oh,
But the thing I think that got it right was it had flair, and it had flourish to it, and it had an air of fantasy to it.
Right. Bingo.
Air of, this is not the real world. This is like a fantasy world of some kind, you know, where people dress up like this and do these things. And, you know, there's a guy named the Joker and so on and so forth. But I will say this.
Okay.
Are we really thinking that he's better, or is he better than the shit that came after him? Because, in other words, is he good, or is he just better than Val Kilmer, who was kind of lame? Clooney, who was kind of lame. Bale, who maybe now isn't our particular cup of tea. You know what I mean? In other words, is he a 6 beating 3s, or is he a 10? That's the question.
Man, I gotta say, he may not be quite a 10, but he is damn close. He is damn close.
I'll say it like this. I'll say it like this from my summation, what Adrian's saying. To me, and I agree with both of you guys, as I'm swinging back and forth both ways, because there is no perfect Batman for me at this point, honestly. The closest it came to it to me recently was Christian Bale's, because I like the darkness and greenness of the real world that surrounded him. I like the quote-unquote dourness of what was going on. That's kind of like my sensibility. I like to integrate like just enough reality into it to where it's tangible that he can really exist and walk in the streets with you on a day-to-day basis. I liked Tim Burton back in the day because it was the first time you saw a freaking Batman that was beyond Adam West Batman on the big screen. So I like the car better. That to me, that was the best vehicle that was out. I mean, even though it was very impractical to be on the city streets of Gotham, you know, you saw how impractical it was. You had to slow down and go around the corner and stick a cable out so you go into a pole and go around the corner. That was ridiculous.
But they explained it exactly. They explained how he would do it. Yeah.
I did certain aspects of Tim Burton's style. I don't care much for, and that's the overly like dark and nonsensical, you know, Candyland, Raggedy Ann and Andy look to it. But certain aspects of that are really really good. But certain aspects of that are really really nice and work real well for movies like that. But that's a hard call, Adrian, because like I said, that nostalgia that I feel for that movie for '89 Batman is very real and palpable. But at the same time, I realize that it's come a long way since then, and I really like I liked, you know, what I like more than I like Bale and the Batman. I like his villains better. I like Bane better. I like the Joker better. You know, the villains in the Burton movies were all just very comical. And just obviously silly and you know, reflection of the 69 Batman, 67 of the enemies of the Adam West Batman, reflections of that. So
let me come up with an unpopular opinion to counter your unpopular opinion,
Okay.
currently,
All right, then.
Adam West is my favorite Batman.
Okay.
To the big or the small screen.
Okay.
He's still my favorite Batman. That's one. Two, let me ask you this. As it relates to the 89 Batman, because Tim Burton, remember we in the previous episode we talked about franchises. We talked about directors being their own franchise, their own genre.
Right.
Was the 89 Batman movie really a Batman movie, or was it a Tim Burton movie? Because that's kind of what I think D is saying.
Yeah. It was very much a Tim Burton
It was
movie.
Edward Scissorhands is a superhero.
Very much so. Very much so. Joker pulls a long gun out of his pants, and shoots a otherwise like militaristic fighter out of the air in one shot, and it crash lands.
But that's something. Okay, but that's something that you could have seen in the issue of Jim Apato's Batman.
No. Hey, put some respect on Jim Apato's name. Now hold on.
I am like Jim Aparo could make that stuff work.
That's true.
I see what y'all saying though. I see what y'all are saying. There is a brand, there is a style that Tim Burton brought to all those projects. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even withstanding that, because look at that 89 Batman and then Batman Returns. Yes, it has the same sensibility or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, that's when they started going all Candyland after that. You know what I'm saying? When Val Kilmer took over and then Batman and Robin, and then it's like
Batman Forever.
So, to some extent, you could look at all the versions of Batman, right? Mm-hmm. The Batman TV show is the Silver Age Batman. It's the Dick Sprang Batman.
Yeah.
The Tim Burton Batman, to me, is kind of a bit more like the Bob Kane original Batman. Mm. You know, weird, lonely millionaire, wacky Dick Tracy-looking villains, but with a simpler, darker vibe to it. Mm-hmm. The Bale Batman movies are like on some 90s shit. Mm-hmm. You know, like on some Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns, post Dark Knight Returns. Who took it?
What's some Neil Adams there? There's some Neil Adams in there too.
I don't see much Neil Adams in the Bale Batman. You think so?
With Bane, yo. The Bane was
Who took it gritty after Frank Miller to the point of ridiculousness?
Okay.
Are we talking about Brayfogle? I mean, who did it after Frank?
Hey, man,
I'm just reaching, man. I'm just reaching for stuff, man. I ain't calling no names. But and then who knows what the Robert Pattinson Batman is going to be? Maybe that's going to be more like Scott Snyder and
Oh, you talking about Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo?
Yeah, Capullo. Maybe that's going to be more on that speed, that tip.
Man, if it is, I'll be right there because them shits was good. But I don't know, bruh.
I like the Crow saga. The Crow saga was very interesting, man, and very cool. I like the whole idea behind the Crows being something that kills bats, you know? That's cool.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about Batman, unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna put it out there though.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it 100.
Okay.
The Killing Joke is fine.
Okay.
It's a little overrated. Batman Year One is the better comic. Fight me.
I can't fight you. You know how in every movie, you know what I'm saying? I'm like Obi-Wan. I'm just gonna give up because I'll be stronger than you could ever imagine.
And just fall in a puddle.
I can't
I go to the hip hop analogy. I'm like Eminem and Papa Doc. You know, tell those motherfuckers you don't know something you don't know about me.
Right, exactly. I think it is just pound for pound. It's just the better comic. It does more of what it's trying to do. It does well. Mm-hmm. And again, Brian Bolland's art isn't for everything. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, Excalibur. Was it Excalibur?
Camelot 3000.
Camelot 3000. I'm confused.
All right.
Camelot 3000. Awesome. But The Killing Joke, I was like, huh? Okay. But Batman Year One, I mean, it was just Mazzucchelli in all of his power. Just all his shit was just like, ugh. You know, Frank Miller's story was just, ugh. You know, the way he kind of turned the origin on its head, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't a graphic novel. Fuck the dumb shit. It was a comic. It came out monthly. It was a comic. Fuck that shit. It just, they rocked it, man. They rocked it.
But which one had a longer lasting effect in the industry?
Probably Killing Joke.
Yeah.
Because of what the Joker did to Barbara Gordon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. And you know, we talked about that on the Alan Moore episode, you know, just how out of all that stuff, all the reboots and everything, that's one of the few things that DC refuses to change. And they trot it out every couple of years to get that quick sympathy, to get that quick acclaim. Like, ooh, look what we did. Isn't this brilliant? No, it was brilliant the first time it was done.
Now it's redundant.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
So as it relates to that, because I haven't read Batman in a long time, is Catwoman still supposed to be a former S&M dominatrix turned cat thief, or is she just a cat thief now?
Nope. Now she's just a cat thief, and to go even further, now her and Batman, they boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah,
I'm like, man, come on, shawty.
Yeah,
Come on.
Let me come on. Let's go back to Adam West, man. Hello, Miss Kitka.
Hey, you know, man.
You kind of you do things for me. So here's all I'm saying. Bats like cats like bats anyway, and bats like cats, bro. That's just one of the things, bro. They're flying rodents and they're trying to catch them, bro. So that's what it is.
I guess so. But anyway, what else you got, D?
Is representation really the key to diversity? Are we watching people like our flesh tone selves for relatability, or do stories go deeper, at least in written form, so they take on a quality of their own? Discuss.
You know, that's something similar. I had something similar on.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a question as opposed to an unpopular opinion. What do you think?
I think it doesn't. I think representation. I think as far as diversity goes, if you're trying to wedge it in between the cracks just because it needs a quote unquote thing needs to be filled for society's acceptance, I think it's the wrong way to go. I think relatability comes from immersing yourself in the story and the character of those individuals, not because of their skin color, not because of their personalized sexual indications. It's a thing that comes from understanding the person for who they are at the core, not because. And I think it's using the conversation, the text message that we had, whereas Miles and Peter are two different individuals, two different sides of the tracks, quote unquote, supposedly, and yet we still root for both of them because they chose to do the right thing in the moments they're in to be heroes. It has nothing to do with the color, skin tone, sexuality, none of that stuff. So if you're trying to wedge that in as a reason for it to be a difference maker, it's the wrong approach to me.
Okay. Now that dovetails into Adrian. What was your unpopular opinion?
All right, and this kind of piggybacks off what you're saying. And in fact, I'm going to elaborate on my unpopular opinion. I think that there is too much of that going on, and it is wholly unpopular because that's the status quo now inside of the industry. Let's make sure everybody, every facet, everything has representation. And not only that, we're going to diversify these characters so that everyone gets their version too. So we have a Clark Kent Superman, the traditional, but now we have a black Superman. Now we have,
Future State Batman is black.
There's a black Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, no. And it doesn't. This is wholly unpopular because a lot of people, what they see And going back to what you're saying, 2D is, oh, we're being represented. But is it really representation when they're just putting it out there just so that you have your version? Isn't that kind of like segregating the audience in a way?
Yeah, it's condescending. It's condescending as hell too, man.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you want that, I would almost rather, instead of you taking another version of that original IP, just doing a whole new character on your own if need be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're talking about representation. There are a lot of things that you don't see normally in comic books. You know, fuck a superhero comic book. Just let's have more of those stories and different types of characters rather than that. So when I'm reading through comic news, you know, reading through previews every month to see, okay, well, what good is coming out? You know, what can I get into? You know, I'm always disheartened because it just seems like the same thing. And I know I will get castigated for this, for real. Like, oh man, you just don't want to see no black characters. Oh man, you just don't want to see no diverse characters and all this stuff. And it's like, man, I do, but not at the expense of, let's just take these IPs and just do the black version of them. If anything, that's condescending, like you said, man. The black version, not a quality version, just the black version.
So let me ask you guys this, as it relates to that, because I too think that if you don't have a good idea for something, then it does just become kind of shallow and becomes kind of lip service. So, for instance, I was cool with Montoya becoming the Question, because the Question doesn't necessarily have to be one person. It's just a person who's putting on that particular outfit. Mm-hmm. So some characters do kind of lend themselves to being legacy characters and different people putting on the mantle at different times in history, and then others kind of not. For instance, you know, Iron Man, anybody can be in the suit.
Sure, exactly.
And it doesn't have to be the same suit. You know, the point is that a human being is putting on a superpowered armor and they're doing superpowered things. So it can be Riri Johnson, it could be or Riri Williams, or whatever her name is. It can be Ironheart. It can be, you know, it can be anybody. It can be Rhodey. It can be anybody. Mm-hmm. Captain America is a symbol. There have been many people who have put on the mantle of Captain America. So Captain America is a symbol. It is not necessarily Steve Rogers, although they will continue to publish Steve Rogers because, you know, Steve Rogers sells comics in the same way that Miles is a different Spider-Man from Peter Parker. They weren't going to kill Peter Parker because that's an IP that they want to keep alive and thriving.
Right.
But then there are other things, like when they announced that they were casting characters, I think for a Superman TV show, and they were going to cast Supergirl, and they were going to cast this Latina actress as Kara as Supergirl. Mm. And I remember thinking, okay, if you're going to do that, then you have to kind of paint like a whole new world. And maybe they will. You know, I have seen shows where they've had really diverse casts. I'm talking about all kinds of ethnicities. And people were supposed to be brothers and sisters and cousins and uncles, and they never explained it. And after about 10 minutes, if it was well written, you didn't care.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But like you're saying, to have like, okay, we have a black Captain America over here. We got a white Captain America over here. We got a female Captain America over here. We have a trans or an LGBTQ Captain America over here. And like you said, after a while, are any of those characters being served well in the sense of writing good stories? Maybe so, maybe not. But I think part of the problem for that may be, and this is maybe an unpopular opinion, but if you're a writer and you have a great idea for a black character, a black or brown character, a Latin character, a Native American character, Indian or a Pakistani character, a character who's trans, a character who's bi, or whatever, a character who has a physical, some kind of a physical handicap, or a character who is on the spectrum, whatever. If you want to work in mainstream comics, if you create a new character, you're going to give it away to them. Mm-hmm. I mean, as far as I know. Mm-hmm. So that may be part of the reason why it's like, okay, if I'm going to play in the big sandbox with the big toys, and if I'm going to bring my best to it, I have to either bring it to a character that I don't own, and they just pay me to do it, and then after I do my 4 or 6 issues, I move on or not. But that may be part of the problem is maybe there isn't enough participation for the creators to create those new characters that represent these diverse ideas. And maybe we are all, as part of the audience, the comic reading audience, and then further out expanding into, you know, movies and television and all the other things that come after that, maybe we're missing out because of that. You know what I'm saying? On a cool LGBTQ character, or a cool character who happens to be in a wheelchair, or a cool character who is blind or deaf, or, you know, whatever the case may be, has, you know, is bipolar, whatever. We're missing out on that because they're like, I can't create that. If I create that, I do it on my own and nobody reads it, nobody sees it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anytime we create something for the big two, man, you know, it becomes their IP, and you know, unless you sign a specialized contract, which most people don't, that states, you know, when you use this character, I get a certain kind of kickback from it, i.e. Brubaker, or i.e. not Brubaker.
Right.
You get less of an incentivized, immersive experience as a creator. So yeah.
What you got, eh?
All right, okay. Getting a little silly for a second, man. Talking about food. Food,
yeah.
man. All right. All right. Here's one. And maybe people might agree with me, but the fact that the restaurant is still open says that a lot of people don't agree with me. Why is KFC still open?
Oh man, come on, man. Come on.
Why is KFC still open?
What you mean? KFC is good, sir.
He's a colonel, yo.
Man.
He's a plantation owner, yo.
When I was growing up, when we were growing up, KFC was delicious. I mean, my dad would bring home that red and white bucket, yo, with the biscuits and that strawberry parfait.
And the mashed potatoes and gravy, yo?
That mashed potatoes and the gravy? Shit.
What?
Boy, that Friday night was slamming. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, yo. Yeah, dog.
But in the last decade or more, man, garbage. Straight garbage. Like, I gave it 3 chances recently because when I come home from dialysis, it's on that side of the street when I come off the highway. When I come off 85, I'm like, man, I'm hungry. Oh, damn. All right, let me try this KFC. Man, that junk crumbles up. Like, you remember that part in Raiders when he opened up the ark and Belloc reaches in and he slowly raises his hand up and all it's there is just, it crumbles. That's what that original crispy does, yo. You reach in a bucket and just bring it up and like,
disintegrates.
What the fuck? The biscuits ain't cooked.
Wow.
The mashed potatoes and gravy is cold. Even that
don't hurt my heart with the coleslaw, dog. The coleslaw used to be my lick.
That's what I'm saying. Even that is like, oh, y'all can't even do that no more, right? Damn. So yeah, man, that's my unpopular opinion. If you eat KFC nowadays, why?
Really what you might be saying is Popeye's got the crown. Okay, let's just go and say what it is. That Popeye's is fire.
Kind of does.
Straight fire.
Yeah.
I want the spicy. I want a breast. I want a leg.
Yeah.
I want the hot sauce to put on it.
That's right.
I want the dirty rice. I want the beans.
Yes, sir.
And I want some jelly for that dry ass biscuit.
The biscuits good by themselves though. I eat the biscuits by itself sometimes. How good it is.
See, I'm not a biscuit dude, so I
can't do it, dog.
Yeah, I gotta lace it up with some strawberry or some grape jelly. But
okay.
Exactly.
But how's KFC staying around? How's Mrs. Winter staying around?
Ugh.
How's churches staying around, man?
Oh, with that whack ass song, Church's Fried Chicken. Shut that.
Hey, man. Look, you bite it.
Man, them honey butter biscuits.
You bite into a piece of Church's, yo, and it be feathers under the crust, yo.
No, you bite into Church's, yo, and it's this oil pocket, yo. It's like, oh, that just busted.
Yeah.
What was that?
I do agree
that
they used to be fire giving you that jalapeno with it. That used to be hot.
Yep, there you go, the poppers.
Well, they have to for digestion purposes, yo.
It was a digestive, yo. If y'all ever go to Chicago, man, I'm gonna have to take y'all to Harold's Chicken, man.
Okay, I heard about Harold's, yo.
Oh man, that already sounds good. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds good. If it's somebody's first name, that shit got.
Yeah, yo, yeah. But look, keeping it with food, man.
Yeah.
Man, cucumbers are awful, man. Cucumbers are awful.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, now, hey.
Cucumbers are awful.
Awful, sir?
Cucumbers are awful, sir. Cucumbers are like the aborted pickle. It's just they're awful, you know. They're like a pickle with no personality.
Actually, on the contrary, sir.
Bro, not even on a salad.
No, especially not on salad. I have taken salads back and said, I said no cucumbers. And they looking at me like, why didn't you take the cucumbers out? Motherfucker, because everything smell like cucumbers now. Make me a new salad.
Take that.
Hey, yo, that's the... Man, an ice cold cucumber, man, chopped up on some salad with some blue cheese dressing.
Miss me with the cucumbers.
With some salt.
My wife be slicing up cucumbers and dipping them in apple cider vinegar. I'm like, ugh.
I mean, that's good for you. That's very healthy, Chris. Props for that.
Ugh. And while we talking about what's disgusting, chitlins should be banned.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, I got no issue there. I got
unanimous,
popular
sir.
on this podcast, unpopular off this podcast. Chitlins are disgusting.
The whole idea is disgusting, dude. The whole idea is disgusting.
D, be with me, sir. The whole idea is disgusting. My mother used to cook chitlins. I be out playing with my friends. We playing football. I come in, I'm all sweating.
And that smell start wafting out.
You walk up to the door. You can feel the heat coming from the kitchen. You're like, oh, man, she doing something in there. She would open the door, and I would retch. I would go, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Magnum force.
And she would eat it with the hot sauce and just be eating it like it wasn't nothing. You're eating a pig's intestines.
Yes.
This part of the pig was so dirty and disgusting, you had to wash it in bleach and then rinse the shit off with soapy water and then rinse it off again with regular water with nothing in it just to make it palatable so you're not eating fecal matter. Come on, man.
Yeah. Exactly. That's like to paraphrase a Method Man verse. Watch these black people get all up in these guts. Collard greens and Tabasco they tearing up. The chitlins are coming. The chitlins are coming. Bro, when we go back home, man, ever since I was a little kid, chitlins or chitterlings, as they're read on the front of the bin, a 5-gallon bucket. Ugh. Okay? Ever since I was a kid, when we go back home to visit, man, my relatives act like that's a delicacy.
Oh, man.
And now we're going to bring out the plate of chitlins. And then everybody starts shaking that
That's it, yo, get it ready.
sauce.
That Texas Pete, yo.
Yep. Exactly. I'm like, what? And then just mixing it up and chopping it into the collard greens
Sir. And of course, the irony of this is this was the last thing on the pig, other than like the ears and the tails and the feet, that they would give to the slaves.
Right.
So that's why it became such a delicacy to black people as descendants of slaves in the United States. Chitlins are vile.
Right. There was discarded from Master's table, yo. They didn't want that.
Yeah.
They gave us what we didn't want, what they didn't want.
Yes.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, yo. And unfortunately, it's a lot of stuff like that black people have just embraced, you know what I'm saying? And we'll be damned if it gets taken away from them.
And so they went, and so they shall.
Right.
Yeah, he's like, hey, you gonna take my chitlins. Like, you get your own. They ain't taking mine. Shit.
Right.
Yeah, man.
What you got, D?
I guess I keep with a food tip, because we talked about this earlier.
All right.
Reese's effing fucking peanut butter cups. Just stop it. 15 fucking versions later, you're still an overrated piece of candy. I'm sorry. Reese's peanut butter cups doesn't taste like peanut butter, doesn't taste like chocolate. It's a combination between the two of them, and I don't get it. I don't get it.
Wait a minute, you don't like Reese's Cups at all?
I like Reese's Cups, but all the iterations have aggravated me to the point to where they don't know, they have an identity crisis. They don't know who they are, and I don't care for what they stand for anymore. They taste like it's like, so I go back to the original. It's like, okay, this is like that other crap you're trying to push on me now with the chopped up pretzels in it, or the friggin' Reese's Pieces inside of it.
Ugh.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, slow your roll, dog. The Reese's Pieces.
Or what's worse is the peanut butter on peanut butter ones. It's like, that's not peanut butter either. What is that crap? It's just.
So hold on. You said there's a peanut butter on peanut butter?
Yes.
Reese's cup? It's shaped like a Reese's cup.
It's weird and disgusting.
As if it was chocolate.
Yeah, it's weird and disgusting.
And then when you bite into it,
it's more peanut butter.
It's all made out of peanut butter.
It's more peanut butter. It's weird and disgusting.
Hey man, look.
Stop it, Reese's.
That's like the equivalent of New Coke. What are you doing?
Right.
Coke was fantastic.
New Coke.
As it was. Don't move. Don't do nothing new. Stop thinking.
Right? As you make that Rockefeller sign, make that Rockefeller sign in your hands, bro.
And Reese's Cups are awesome as they are. I haven't had a Reese's Cup in probably 7 years. But Reese's Cups are awesome.
Snickers are better, yeah.
Yeah, just stay where you are. Stay in your lane.
That's it.
Stop trying to get more market share,
Exactly. Stop being greedy, bro.
Yeah.
So that's my thing on food.
Yeah. I feel you.
Oh man.
Man, I'm gonna say this. You mentioned music earlier, talking about sellouts and 2 Chainz, and we started talking about Ice Cube. And
yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, man. I got 2, man. Consider this an A-B category.
Go ahead.
Okay. As much as he is lauded as the second coming, or as the new Messiah, as the new hip hop, the new voice in hip hop, the new MC.
Oh yeah.
Kendrick Lamar is just an okay rapper. He's okay. Heads like him, critics like him, but guess who doesn't really like Kendrick Lamar? The public. The people who buy records and who download music and who give him his spins. I mean, I'm sorry. It's like we were saying earlier. If you're making art and you're trying to sell it, it has to sell. It has to make an impact in the marketplace.
Yeah.
It has to be his biggest hit. The biggest thing he's been on might be a Taylor Swift remix.
Oh yeah.
That might be Bad Blood. That might be the biggest song he's ever been on. He's not had a song that has killed it on the radio. He doesn't have a legitimate hit, and yet he's on the cover of magazines. He gets mentioned as being great. And again, I like a lot of Kendrick Lamar songs, but it's like when, back in the early aughts, when the Nouveau Garage Band thing was happening, you had the Strokes and the Vines, and you had the White Stripes, and you had all these kind of pseudo garage bands coming out at that time, right? And the Strokes were on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, being hailed as the second coming of rock and roll, the new whatever, and hadn't even sold 100,000 records yet.
Yeah.
100,000 records. And again, it's not all about sales, but as far as Kendrick Lamar goes, I think he's a fine rapper. He's okay, but you got to show me something, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you got to show me something that reaches me. And again, I like some of his songs, but you got to show me something that reaches out and takes the world by storm. And he just hasn't done that yet.
Yeah. But yet and still, he won the freaking Nobel Peace Prize. How'd that happen?
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Yeah. But the B-side to that is, and This is a very controversial opinion. It's going to be very unpopular.
All right.
Okay. The Hive may come for me.
Okay.
Beyonce can sing, but she shouldn't talk.
All her interviews are.
Swizz lives. Get Swizz.
She's a superstar. She's a great songwriter. She's a great entertainer. She is absolutely like at the front of the pack as far as people in her generation. Is she my personal favorite? No, but she's got a lot of songs that I like and some that I really love. You know, I will swear by me some single ladies. I will swear by me some independent women. I will swear by some Crazy in Love. And she's got some others that I really, really dig. Halo, she's got some bangers.
Right.
But she should sing. She should not talk. And while we're at it, she shouldn't act either. If you hear her on that Lion King, that live / animated Lion King, and you hear her talking about Simba, with that country ass Houston, she's awful. She's awful. When I hear her speaking in documentaries and doing her voiceovers and stuff, I'm like, okay, just your gift is singing. It's not talking. You're not eloquent. You're not even close to eloquent. Mm-hmm. Whatever is the antonym of eloquent is what you are. So
dang,
you light them up, man.
Damn.
You light them up, bro. I smell smoke coming our way, bro.
That's what it is. I'm sorry.
SideBarForever@gmail.com, yo. If y'all want to comment on it, send it.
There you go. Yeah, bring the smoke.
And
exactly.
I would defend my man's rights to his opinion. So believe that.
Hey.
But yeah, no, okay, so on that note, piggybacking what you're saying, I guess, and else as far as music goes, anybody else that claims to be this, can one still be the greatest of all time when you no longer are a practitioner and are still alive when other generations have surpassed you? Can you still be the greatest of all time?
Like, who are you talking about? Because, again, that's a question. Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about...
What?
Oh!
LL Cool J.
Okay.
I'm talking about Rakim. I'm talking about, Tupac Shakur. He's not alive anymore.
So so let's stop there. Tupac, Rakim, and LL. Who has surpassed them?
That's my question because, man, these young dudes out here now talking about come on, Migos or something, Little Yachty, Little Uzi Vert, and all the other littles.
Bibbidi, babbidi, boobidi. No, I'm saying, okay. No, I'm not, no one in particular surpassed it. I'm saying, but can you still maintain that that's who you are and that status if you like no longer producing the music that once was there? You see what I'm saying? If you're no longer doing music, can you still be that?
Yes. To me, yes.
So Jordan is considered the greatest even though he doesn't play anymore. LeBron will be considered the greatest when he retires.
Okay.
Muhammad Ali was still considered the greatest when he stopped fighting. And whether we love him or not, Floyd Mayweather is currently the greatest living fighter of all time. He has an
Mike Tyson.
beatable,
Mike Tyson, yeah.
But he has Mike Tyson has been beaten. Floyd Mayweather has never been beaten. Never.
He needs to be.
Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? It's like Jay-Z said, men and women can lie, but numbers don't lie. Floyd Mayweather has a perfect record. He has never been beaten.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom Brady, I'm sorry. That dude is a warrior. Whether you love him, whether you love Deflategate, Patriots, whatever, bring the hate, bring the smoke. Don't nobody give a damn. He has the Infinity Gauntlet. He has all.
He got 6 of them.
He does, yeah.
stones.
He does, yo.
He got him, yo. So I mean, I don't
That's
know.
true.
I don't know. I mean, so that goes into the definition of what the greatest is, which
Right.
my thing with LL has always been. So, for instance, one of my favorite groups of the old soul singing groups is the Isley Brothers, right? Okay.
Sure, yeah.
I am going to posit that the Isley Brothers have done something that no one else will do.
Okay.
The Isley Brothers had top 20 hits in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. 5 decades. They had top 20 hits over 5 decades. Some of those were number ones and top 10 hits. I don't think anybody else is going to be able to do that. And going back to the rap tip, like currently, whether you love him or like him or not, doesn't matter. Drake is the most popular rapper in the world.
Long pause.
He has broken records. He's broken records that from other genres. He's broken records in terms of sales and number ones and having multiple number ones from certain out. He's broken records that haven't been broken by rappers ever.
That's going to show a shitty state of rap game, bro. That's all it shows.
Hey, man.
That's a shitty state of rap game, man, because it's I'm sorry, man. For me, my thing is this, man, when it comes to rap. And it's not, I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to it, as you know, and if you can't prove your case against a motherfucker in a battle rap, man, if you can't talk shit in a battle rap, man, all you do is make songs, bro. You're a fucking singer, dog. That's what you are. And it's okay to be a singer. That's good. And it's okay to be good.
Okay, so let me challenge you here.
Okay.
I don't remember Chuck D battle rapping anybody.
No, he didn't.
Right, yeah.
He didn't. But Chuck was powerful, though, dude.
I mean, there are others that we could think of that don't battle rap. Battle rapping is a specific thing.
It is.
Uh-huh.
But my thing is this: it starts with cut your teeth on that, so to speak. And I get it. Not everybody that I think is great has been a battle rapper. But my point is that if all you do, if you have no street credibility whatsoever, if you have no kind of credibility whatsoever as far as doing any kind of real strongs or any real strength that provide any kind of real challenge or other things to people, you don't qualify for me. You're disqualified. That's just my personal opinion. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't mean it's wrong. And Drake, I mean, he goes to battles, but he doesn't fight in battles. Those battle rappers eat his ass up, spin out the other side. But they're honored by his presence because he's a multi-million-dollar selling rapper. They get it, But he's garbage to me,
Now, the one thing I will say to that point, D, is, I think of, guys like, Kool Moe D or Big Daddy Kane, saying like, these guys are young and coming with that lyricism. I'm talking like they teenagers, 16, 17, LL too. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, hold on now. Wait a minute, hold on. Stay at bay like Michael. Hold on.
Hey, man, look, let me just say this, man. We cannot mythologize old school rap like that. Because some of that stuff was not lyrical geniuses spitting hot fire on the mic. Some of that stuff was ABC 1, 2, 3. One generation past the hip did the hop, did the hip did the hop. I mean, some of it was. I'm sorry, dog. I love me some Kool Moe D, but Kool Moe D was not known for being a lyricist. He was known for.
No, man.
I'm saying
Shots
in his
fired.
day he was, but in comparison to 10 years later, he would not be.
I think it's the other way around, man. I think in the beginning when he first came out, he wasn't the lyricist that he became. When he was challenged by LL, when him and LL had beef, he showed his true lyrical mastery when LL had
But
beef,
it was
man,
in an 80s kind of a style. In other words, if you go to the rap in the 90s and say, hey, this dude is just as good as the dudes, I mean, it's just not, yo. It's just not. It was very early early version, boasting, just boasting. Just boasting.
Hey,
and I love me some Kool Moe Dee, and I love me some Big Daddy, yo.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, it's of its time. Let's call it that. It's of its time. It doesn't transcend past the 80s where you're saying, oh yeah, in comparison to 90s and 2000s and 2010s, it's nah. I'm sorry.
Now, do you think that it comes down to like in comics, there's a golden age style, silver age style, there's an image style, there's a 70s, 80s style.
It's like appreciating. Remember we talked about movies. It's like appreciating a black and white movie for being a black and white movie, but not expecting it to be Jurassic Park in 1998 or 1996. You know, it's a different thing. It is of its time. It's like watching a musical. It's like watching Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Like, why are they singing? Why are they singing? Why they keep breaking out in song? And is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang better than Hamilton or In the Heights? I don't know. But it's of its time. It's very of its time.
No, it's not.
So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Man.
But to Dee's point, to his original idea, I do think you can be the greatest, but not the greatest of all time, because, you know, before Jordan there was Dr. J, then it was Jordan. Before, you know, Dr. J, there was, you know, Elgin Baylor and other dudes who just didn't get the credit and get the fame and the shine that Jay did, and that Jordan did, and that LeBron is getting, and that, you know, Durant and, you know, and Steph Curry and all these guys are getting, you know, and they did it for way less money.
Yeah,
that's for damn sure.
You know, they did it for way less money. So, but moving outside of those areas into some dicier waters.
Oh, okay, all right.
You know, I love J-Lo. I think Jennifer Lopez. I think J-Lo is awesome. I think she's especially awesome to look at. Okay.
Yes.
But.
And the but is part of it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. But so this is a two-parter. I don't think J-Lo got hot until after she turned 40 years old.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
That's to me, as just as an attractive person, she didn't get hot until she became a mature 40-year-old woman and carried herself as such.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think anything of her as a fly girl. I didn't think anything of her in her early career other than she had a big butt. Okay. But I mean, she was attractive, and she's been in some movies that I really like. Like she's given some performances that I think are really good. But she's not a great actress where she just transcends or whatever. But as an attractive person,
mm-hmm.
I don't think she got hot until she turned 40. I don't even really think Halle Berry for me was hot until after she turned 40.
Well, hey,
man, I'm just saying.
Hey, now,
hey,
wait a minute.
Hey, man, it's very controversial, very controversial.
yeah, it is. You are Ray Halle into this, like we discussed on the Die Hard, 10 movies that Die Hard birthed, so to speak, on that episode. You brought up Halle Berry, man. 91, 92, going into 93. It wasn't nobody finer than Halle Berry.
Yeah, yo.
I think I call her the black Barbie doll. Like, just, bruh. That short haircut, ooh. That short bob.
Swordfish, yo.
Boy.
Swordfish and
well, that's later. But, yeah, yo. But, man, that right there, pre-30, pre-40, man. Halle Berry was
okay,
fine.
But you know what? Here's the thing that kind of got me. She was convincingly cast as kind of like the girl best friend in Boomerang.
Yeah.
But Robin Givens was the woman. She was She was where the sexual energy went, and Halle Berry was where the emotional energy went.
By design, right.
And to me, I just think once she got 40, once J-Lo turned 40, there was a confidence and a maturity that they exuded that they didn't exude when they were younger. And I think that added to their physical attractiveness for me. That's just me. That's a hot take. That's a controversial take. That's an unpopular opinion. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. But my B part to this is, I'm going to go ahead and say, while we're at it, butts are 22% better than boobs.
Well,
okay.
Amen.
Well,
Amen.
That's all a matter of perspective, sir.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at?
Hey, man. Man, you know what? I'd like to say I personally give them equal attention. But I can't say that because, you know, when I see it coming, I'm like, oh man, yeah. And you want to see where it's going, that it matches what was coming. You know what I'm saying? And if it don't match, it's like, that ratio off, man. That the golden rectangle is off. The Pythagorean theorem is off. Nah, that don't even compute.
Yeah,
that don't even match up.
Yeah, man.
What you think, D?
You're going to slippery slope with me, bro. There's no only one way you can go with this direction, as far as I'm concerned, man. Absolutely, there needs to be a balancing act between the two. I can't tell you how much the front.
You hear how serious D's voice is? This might went into college professor voice.
Yeah, exactly.
I need you to turn with me to page 6 because we're going to. Okay, as the equation is brought down, what I need.
Yeah, man. It's a immediate distraction if one is out of place.
No, but I'm just saying in general, you got butts on one side, you got boobs on another side. Butts are about 23% better than boobs. Every day of the week, all the time.
But I will say this. I think today, in recent contemporary times, butts have become much more of an interest as opposed to decades ago. It used to be about the boobs, you know, Mae West, Marilyn Monroe, Jane Mansfield, whomever, Sophia Loren. It was all about that. And then somewhere in the 90s, that reversed.
And you can probably credit J-Lo for part of that.
Sure. And I'll say this, man, as far as the breakdown of the female anatomy goes, as far as meridians go, right? So you have the top half, which is the head. You get down to the shoulders, which is where the breasts are located, and the torso. Then you get down to the midsection, and behind the midsection is where the butt's located.
Mm-hmm. Talk your shit. Go ahead.
When you look at the overall figure, your head's always drawn down towards, this is human beings, when we work. We're always drawn down to the crotch. I start the head and go down to the crotch. We always look at the crotch. And it's a male and female instinct. So the opposite side of the crotch is the buttocks. So the buttocks is always a point of interest in most. I mean, even animals. What do? They sniff each other's asses. They're not sniffing udders. You know, they're checking to see what your true sexuality is, and that's arguably a controversial subject too in this day and time. But yeah, even ends with a butt. The butt is king. The butt is king and queen. It just is. Now, arguably these days, the way they're exaggerated and full of all kinds of cement and things of that nature, they become less. They suddenly become less attractive to me and less a source of interest because I realize that those that have them may not have them naturally.
Well, but fake boobs have been around for forever too, though, right?
Yeah, but those that have those don't have them naturally also are not attractive to me.
Gotcha.
You know, I'm looking for realism. You know, not some kind of. It's funny. I like science fiction, but I don't want to live in it. You know? I don't want to touch science fiction. I could do it through the VR portal, but I don't want to actually physically be involved in that situation.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
summary. Let's just say I'm a butt man, and the breasts are great, but butts, if they're real, when the gravity hits them, they aren't necessarily as bad as what happens to the breasts later on in life. When breasts just go south.
There's just nothing like a woman who has a great hips to waist to butt ratio. Oh my goodness. It is a thing of beauty. And it's one of the reasons why I really loved the Italian painters and the painters in the
Botticelli.
Yeah, I think maybe it's the Renaissance, I guess, maybe, where the women were more full figured.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hippie and maybe even had like a bit of a tummy, like that old girl in Pulp Fiction when she was talking about, it'd have just a bit of a pot belly, where you can kind of rest your hand on it, or whatever. That's just nice to me. And I just think it's just about 22 or 23% better than boobs. And I find over time, as women age, butts tend to kind of maintain a little better, a little differently than boobs do.
Yeah, elasticity.
Boobs are affected by gravity, and that's just something you have to accept. Butts it can kind of maintain, yo.
But it's about the carriage, though.
Yeah.
When that carriage is right, usually it's because the ratio is right. That's like I said, that's the golden rectangle right there. That spiral and everything's in proportion. It's like, yeah.
No, it's true, man. It's true. So,
yeah, just
I'm gonna wind it home with a couple of quick fires.
Okay.
And you all can jump in real quick, but Shonda Rhimes.
Uh-oh.
Shonda Rhimes makes a lot of TV shows, and most of them are dreadful.
Yes. Arms akimbo, standing beside you like Batman and Superman, the animated series. Just
Me and Adrian.
Yes, arms folded.
Back to back like Lethal Weapon, yo.
Oh man, bruh, yes, that is an unpopular opinion because there is a such thing as a Shonda verse.
Yeah, very much so.
A Rhymes verse. But I'm sorry, I wholly agree with you. My wife loved Grey's Anatomy and tried to get into those other shows and it wasn't happening.
Grey's Anatomy
wasn't the truth.
It's garbage. Every time I've ever walked through the room, my wife was watching garbage. Scandal was garbage. As much as I love Joe Morton and Kerry Washington, garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Private Practice, garbage. How to Get Away with Murder, garbage.
How to Commit Murder, yep.
Just all garbage. The Chicago 19, whatever, Station 19, the fire station show, garbage.
That was her?
Yeah.
Oh. Did she just do another one set in like this fictional English
Bridgerton
village or yes. Oh, I got one last one. Thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is hugely unpopular. All right, shoehorning minorities where it doesn't necessarily fit
historically.
Exactly. In a historical series. And I understand this is supposed to be like this mythical fantasy type thing. I get it. But I can't deny that it irks me to no end when I see that. Like, why are you introducing black people at the Battle of Hastings? Just something ridiculous. Like, there were no black people at the Battle of Hastings, yo. What? There were no black people at Waterloo. What the hell are you doing? But you got to put them in there once again we got to make sure everyone is represented. But the solution to that is being found more and more regularly is we'll just do a revisionist fantasy version of the event, so that way we can find a way to include.
So it's historical fiction to a great extent, because there's a queen who's of color, and it is referenced that she's over. Historically speaking, it was reputed that she was biracial, or that she was part black. So that part of it, but the other parts of it, like what you're saying, don't really line up. But here's the thing, and this is an unpopular. This might be a popular opinion. I don't even know. Mm-hmm. I've just had enough of the slave movies and the movies where we have been portrayed that way, or the movies where, Asian people have been portrayed a certain way, or, like we talked about in the previous episode about Charlie Chan movies where they cast this white guy to play an Asian character for a total of 50 movies.
Yeah.
And so that's why I kind of don't mind like what happens in Warrior, and how that stuff is done, because it's well done, it's executed well. I'm engaged in the story, and I don't really care. Like, you don't have to pull up the history books and show me there was the one black cowboy or the one black engineer who did this, or George Washington Carver created a computer with a peanut. I don't have to have. I'm done with all of that stuff, so I don't mind the fantasy representations of things. I'm fine with it if it's done well. If it's done poorly, then it's just something else to me that's just done poorly. But I think Shonda Rhimes makes awful television shows. And most network television shows are pretty awful to begin with. And hers are exceptionally so for me. The other thing I'll tag on to that with, going down a bad rabbit hole here, Adam Sandler's movies are not funny. Mm-hmm. Adam Sandler is not funny. I'm embarrassed at people who think that that's funny. I'm embarrassed at you think I
to your point though, Adam Sandler, his is this type of thing that I would go watch when I was like 18 or 19. Opening night.
Right.
We go see The Water Boy. We go see that stuff.
Right.
As a grown ass man, I can't watch that no more. I'd be like, what in the hell?
It's lowbrow drunk frat boy humor.
Very much so, and because that's what I find funny about it. I mean, it's not like I go back and say, I'm going to go to the latest Adam Sandler movie, but if it's on and you're in a certain crowd and you're watching it's a party favorite movie, I can't think of any real quotables for any of his movies. I can't think of anything I learned from his movies. I can do
it for you. There you go. That's every other movie. Go ahead. Anyway, y'all got anything else?
Yeah, one more. This is controversial.
All right.
Okay.
And this is for you guys, because I know this may be a little touchy. It may not be a little touchy. You probably agree with me, actually.
Okay.
When will filmmakers learn that successful animated series cannot be adapted into live action and still be good, or at least maintain a sense of clarity and wonder of the original version? Mulan, as a fucking movie, is utter garbage.
Mm.
Yeah.
Star Blazers, as a fucking movie, is utter garbage.
Speed Racer.
G-Force.
Yeah.
Speed Racer. Utter garbage.
Okay, so let's see if is there an example of an animated something that's been adapted that turned out well. I didn't see the Dora the Explorer movie.
No.
I'm coming up Bupkiss, yo.
Yeah, because it's utter garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely not the Cat in the Hat, and definitely not the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Them shits was awful.
Yes.
The Flintstones, which you talking about Adrian going to see instead of seeing.
Don't remind me. I would say any of the spate of like the recent Disney movies where the formula now is let's take the villain from these classic animated movies and make live action out of them. Maleficent, They made 2. Terrible.
Right.
This new Cruella de Vil, terrible.
101 Dalmatians, negatory.
Yeah.
So just let hit dogs lie, Let things be what they are inside a particular format, and stop trying to remake it into something that shouldn't be. That's the way it should be. I mean, Star Blazers never should be made into a fucking live action movie. Just doesn't work as a live action movie. Only if it could be serialized as a series.
Right.
You're trying to compress all the information inside of it into a 2-hour movie, even a 3-hour movie, is doing a disservice to what the characters were originally about, what the series was originally about.
You know what? And to your point, D, and maybe to kind of bring it to a close, and to tie up some other things we mentioned here, I think they're doing an adaptation of The Little Mermaid, maybe not for a film, but for like the stage.
Okay.
And I think they cast a young black actor as Ariel. But I think you're right, man. I just Googled it, and there is not one that I think was successful in a creative sense. Not one. Most especially that goddamn Aladdin thing they did with Will Smith.
Hey, hold on now. Yeah, I'm a hit dog and I'm hollering. Wait a minute. That was actually pretty good. My daughters and I had a good time.
Adrian, so disappointed, dog.
Hey, it was all right. It was all right, though. My daughters have watched this several times on Disney Plus. Like, again and again and again. They love it. It was good for what it was. And I'll admit that. But,
ugh.
All right.
Ugh.
That concludes this episode of Sidebar Forever, hosted by Dwight Clark, Swain Hunt, and Adrian Johnson. You can find us online at sidebarforever.com. Any emails or questions can be directed to us at sidebarforever@gmail.com. And also, subscribe to us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram.